Hello. It is a little startling, isn't it? I'm Jennifer Gyron. I am the Academic and Special Education Consultant at Hillsdale Area Career Center. I've had the pleasure of working with this team for the last 2 weeks, and it's been a great experience. We have Aaron Kempe. He is a graduate of Hillsdale High School and also a completer of the Multimedia Marketing Program at the Career Center in Hillsdale. Alicia Hodis, also a graduate of Hillsdale High School. She's a completer of the EMT program at Hillsdale Area High School and also a completer of the SENA program in partnership with Hillsdale Community Health Center. Joshua Gadel-Kareem joins us. He is a returning senior this year to Will Carleton Academy in Hillsdale and also a returning senior to complete the CAD program at the Hillsdale Area Career Center. Emilio Rosas joins us as a graduate from Blissfield High School. He is also a completer of the Entrepreneurial Marketing and Financial Program at the Lenawee Area Career Center. Thank you.
Before we get started, Aaron will pass out our business plans to all the judges. Good morning. Over the past couple of weeks, we've had the opportunity to work with TLC. TLC has also asked us how they can identify and grow employee leadership skills. With that being said, we had the opportunity to visit a couple other businesses to see how they identify leaders. We got the chance to visit Jiffy's in Chelsea, Michigan, and Zingerman's in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Although Zingerman's management is fairly different than TLC's, a lot of information we use today we learned from them. We also got the chance to meet TLC's branch managers, all their executives, and their human resource manager. With all those great opportunities, we'll now present what we have been working over the past 2 weeks. Thank you.
So, when we arrived at TLC, we were given a driving question. There we go. All right. How can TLC identify and grow employee leadership skills to support a sustainable succession model for future planning? We addressed this first by looking into TLC as a company. We discovered TLC is a lean company, meaning they have about 120 employees in a fiscal year. So the plan and procedures we came up with for them really work around that. But before we get too much into that, we would like to tell you where we believe TLC should get their leaders from.
So as you see here, we have a chart kind of how we're going to identify leaders and create them. So first we start down here where all the employees of TLC are. After we do that, we start to identify the leaders, which we'll talk about more in the next slide with Aaron. After we identify the leaders, we begin to develop them. And during the development process, we begin to select the leaders and see which place they're best suited to be at.
All right, like Josh, as what Josh was saying, the first step is going to be identifying leadership within the organization. It's after conducting interviews with the executives at TLC, we were able to compile a list of certain characteristics that they feel leaders should possess. These include efficient communication skills, willingness to learn new tasks, being able to make a decision on their own. These characteristics, we would like managers, both branch managers and department heads, to take note in annual evaluations. But there's another tool that we've developed to also help them keep track of this in a little better sense, and Alicia's going to kind of hit on that right now.
Okay, we developed the Tlc Toolbox. We developed this to be easy and simple to use, simple to fill out. It will state all of the TLC employees' certifications, cross-training, and education. That way, so when a job opening does happen in TLC, it's easy to look internally and see who's the best qualified candidate. These are some examples we came up with. This is our certification page and our cross-training page.
And the next step is developing a leader. We want to extend management training to other levels, which meaning the higher level manage the lower level by giving some training. After, like I said before, we got to meet with the human resource manager and the executives and branch managers. They all made it clear that they do offer cross-training, quite a bit of it actually, but they never really document it. So we want to implement that, document how a certain employee is handling their task. When you document that, that can help you when developing a leader. And the voluntary employee training, I'll get to that in this slide. We have created an IDEAL program. This IDEAL program we learned from Zingerman's when we got to visit. IDEAL stands for Identifying and Develop Emerging Associate Leaders. This is a manager to employee training system. Like I said, we got to meet with the branch managers. They also got to attend an emerging leader program that was provided by TLC. For those of you that don't know what that is once every month, all the branch managers get to attend with other managers from all over companies. They go over leadership skills, community stuff, so all that. We want to implement that those managers take what they learn from that and train it to lower levels. So that is what the IDEAL program is. That benefits TLC because all the lower level employees are also learning more about leadership skills.
So as talking about cross-training before, so as continued cross-training will provide candidates for general management positions. By using more cross-training, you will allow employees in the lower level to gain more experience and gain other understandings of the other systems going on in the credit union, which will then allow them to have a better understanding and better leadership skills, so if they ever become a manager.
We broke succession into two parts. The second part is executive succession. We started by creating 4 different steps. First, when the executive resigns, then posting the job opportunity both internally and externally, selecting their candidate, and transferring the powers and duties over to the successor. We created time periods for each one of these steps. The first one being 9 to 12 months before the executive departs. The TLC will post the job opportunity, again within the company and externally, and begin gathering resumes. The next time period is 6 to 9 months before the executive departs. They will still be collecting resumes, but at this time, they will select the candidate that they believe is most qualified, and they will begin the grooming process. The next time period is 6 months before departure. This will be the continuation of grooming, but here they will begin to transfer power and duties over to the successor. The last time frame is 1 month before departure. There's going to be a complete transfer of power over to the successor. At this point, the leaving executive will step back and act as an advisor to smooth over the complete transition of power.
Now, to kind of recap a little bit, going back to that driving question, how can TLC identify and grow employee leadership skills to support a sustainable succession model for future planning? Breaking that down into its 3 parts, identifying, developing, and the eventual succession. We've developed tools, the Tlc Toolbox to better identify their leadership, to keep track of all cross-training and other certifications that employees throughout their time at TLC will then gain. Then moving on to leadership development with the IDEAL program with quarterly training that managers go out for training from third parties, bring that information back, develop small little modules to teach once every quarter to their employees. That way, the training that TLC is already providing to their managers can then be extended to all their employees. And lastly, succession. With this cross-training that's already going on in the organization, it would be quite easy to find qualified candidates to fill general management positions. But for executive succession, we recommend following a timeline similar to the one that we outlined. That way there's enough time for it allows the financial security of the credit union's members to remain intact, which is what their main drive is. So allowing that grooming period really secures that financial security for their members. That concludes our presentation. We'd like to thank all the executives from TLC and all the managers, Deb and Mike, for coming out tonight. at this time, we'll answer any questions you guys may have.
You said that you visited Zingerman's and Jiffy Mix. Were those other businesses that TLC had asked you to visit, or did you come up with those? Were they best practice leaders, or what? How did you get there?
Actually, we didn't even really know as a team about these other companies until our team leader, Jennifer Gyron, she brought these up to our attention. And actually, Jiffy was a great tool to kind of see the manufacturing side of things, but Zingerman's is actually 6 organizations under one umbrella, and they operate in a unique way. But the thing that we took from them, the biggest thing, is they have a system where their managers are required to train employees things that they learned for 2 hours a month. So we kind of, we're using that same idea a little bit there, where managers are training the employees that, because the managers took classes before that also.
I have a popcorn too. What did you learn that you'll take with you that will be helpful, you know, studying TLC and succession planning? What will you take, each of you take with you that will be helpful to you?
For me, this was the first time I actually got to work in like a corporate kind of setting. So it was really interesting to see exactly how it was structured, and I love structure. That's my thing. So I found that like I really enjoyed that kind of a setting. So that's what I took away from it, that I like working in a very structured setting.
Me personally, I really liked working with the people, like working with my teammates, the executives, getting to know them and helping them solve their problem. And their problem was really about leadership, so learning ways I can further my ability to lead was really cool.
Probably the thing that really struck me the best at TLC was how upper management and the lower employees were so familiar with each other and so friendly, and just so laid back and able to talk to each other without any hostility being there. So seeing that kind of made me realize that I would love to work, excuse me, love to work in a place like that and have that kind of atmosphere around it.
What I'm going to take from this is visiting from Zingerman's and TLC. It's kind of nice seeing how TLC runs things and how Zingerman's do it. Like Aaron put, Zingerman's is completely different than TLC, how their management is. So what I'm going to take from this is how different management is around different companies, even if it's a credit union to a bank or to 6 different businesses into one. So.
In working with the branch managers and things and those middle level employees, did you see a lot of encouragement from those level employees to the lower, like the entry level employees as far as the training and leadership to grow the leader from the bottom up?
Yeah, most definitely. I saw that when we interviewed the branch managers, you see that each branch manager really has a deep understanding of the people that who work for them and who they manage, and they really do understand who want to move forward in their life and who is comfortable where they're at, and they just take that into consideration during their yearly reciprocal things, and just they really just have a deep understanding and just in a meaningful.
And some of the branches actually have meetings that are daily, weekly, monthly, just little sit-in bits to make sure everything's going to run smoothly, everybody's okay, things to keep people updated, any changes in policy or procedures, things like that.
Did you see a lot of engagement between that middle management then and upper management as well, a lot of input?
Yeah, there's a lot of cross-communication, which is good. There's a lot of feedback, all of it positive. And they really do talk to each other, and the flow of communication throughout the entire TLC is just amazing.
How is TLC going to use the information that you've given them?
Well, their exact problem was 3 out of the 4 executives they have are going to retire in the next 3 years. So they do have time to implement what we suggested. When we gave them our presentation, we got a lot of powerful feedback, good feedback. But in the next 3 years is really going to determine how they're going to use what we gave them.
Any other questions? Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.